Hey y'all, Sarah Lou here, and we are back again with Steins Gate. So, after I finished up last episode, where we apparently just decided that we were going to stick ourselves in a time loop for all eternity while we slowly drove ourselves mad and had the most horrible of thoughts, which we suppressed and instead became an emotionless robot that had no love or feeling for our, fellow friends and all that afterward. It was a very weird-ass last episode, trust me. We decided after Suzuha realized that we were in a time loop, and she was like, come back with me to 1975 and we'll change everything and rewrite the future entirely together as we become a couple and elope together into the past and kind of stuff. It was really freaking weird, guys. All that. So, after that ended, the game ended. As we hopped in the time machine to go to 1975 and change the future together. And, so freaking weird. Alright, so that happened, and I looked stuff up while we were doing credits and all that, and it turns out there are alternate endings and different ways to get those and all that, and so I was originally going to pursue Luca's ending next, but then while I was looking into how to go that, I found out that if you pull out the phone and send the D-mail, even though Oki doesn't want to send the D-mail will be sent. And we do have choices and we do have control over our stupid-ass phone. But they didn't hammer that message in clear enough. Alright, like, this is a weird-ass point to just... I mean, we've been using the phone, but it's just been for kind of cutesy stuff. It hasn't been made clear. Whatever. Anywho, we're going to use the phone, we're going to send that email, we're going to rewrite the freaking past and future, alright? So that's what we're doing this episode. Because screw everything that happened last episode. Alright. 2 options, really just one. Did I hesitate? Hesitation is unforgivable. Let's send this fucking message. Stop pursuit. Last mail. Is CERN trap. That should be enough to convince me to let Suzuha go. Send it! Nope. Nope. Nope, you little bastard. Take the phone out. August 9th. That's where we're sending it. Come on. Send it, send it, send it, send it, send it, send it, send it. Maybe I read through this, so I'm not reading it again. Send it! Send that shit now! I start up the microwave. The discharge begins immediately. Place my thumb on the send button. Are you sure? Mayuri's voice is choked with tears. My memories with Suzu-san will disappear. Is that really okay? It is more than okay. Memories flash through my head. We are sending it! Being with you guys, even just for a little while, was great. And it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to finish what you started, Dad. I promise. Well, see you in 35 years, though I guess it'll only be a few hours for you guys. This is what she wanted. This was the fate that she chose, alright? We have no freaking right to play dollhouse with her. Fuck that shit. Alright. Change the future, please. See, it's her will. It's her will. She wants this. Suzuha, I've made my choice. Send it! Send it! I won't ask for your forgiveness. Ultimately, I'm doing this to save Mayuri. She doesn't need to forgive your ass. This is what she wanted. But at the same time, the words you spoke on that rooftop are still strong in my heart. You entrusted me, your hope for the future. If I am to honor that wish and fulfill mine, then the time we spent together can never have happened. Exactly. There we go. That's proper. But it didn't get to 1, so still problems. Chapter 7, Maiden Complex. Made to a new chapter. The world shatters into geometric shapes that expand and contract like rubber toys. Light gathers between my eyes. Stars explode behind my eyelids. Gradually, color returns to the world. Ugh. I wait for my vertigo to pass. Cold sweat oozes from my temples. Pressing my fists against them, I slowly force the air out of my lungs. Has the world line changed? It has, but not enough. We need to get to 1. I head to the lounge in order to check for the divergence meter. It shouldn't... Yeah, it's gone. Because it won't be there because... You know, she was never here to give it to us. I checked the meter a few minutes ago, just before the world line changed. Now it's nowhere to be found. I quickly realized what has happened. Suzuha gave me the meter after we stopped her from leaving. My D-mail undid those events. Of course the meter isn't here. A surge of regret seizes my heart. I clench my teeth and endure it as best I can. If nobody else remembers, then I alone will keep these memories of Suzuha alive. I look around the room. Mayuri and Kurisu are on the sofa, dozing on each other's shoulders. Daru, oblivious to the vulnerable high school girls behind him, is playing an Hiroki on his computer. I take a deep breath and turn on the TV. I flip to a news channel. The world line should have changed. I erased the time we spent with Suzuha. That should have allowed her to leap to 1975 without losing her memories, and the IBN 5100 should be in our hands now. We can use it to hack into CERN and erase the data they intercepted from us. Without that information, Moika's men won't attack the lab. Mayuri won't have to die. That's how it should be. That's how it has to be. Otherwise, why did I sacrifice Suzuha's dream? The quickest way to confirm the change would be to check for any delays at Akihabara Station. Daru, is this Yamanote line stopped? Is the Yamanote line stopped? Sorry, I'm just like completely off my mind. Yeah, time lapse will do that to you.
Huh? I don't think so.
Check online.
Wait, I'm at the best part.
Please. Daru sighs and calls up train information.
Doesn't look stopped.
Thanks. The world line has changed, which means that our IBN 5100 should be in the development room. I head back there to search for it, but contrary to my expectations, I can't find it anywhere. What's going on? I look at my watch. It's 7:43 p.m. Moika's men attack at... what time again? We just went through it a million times! My heart is pounding like a drum. The D-mail was supposed to fix everything. The trains are moving as scheduled, which means that Moika's men aren't about to attack. So why does it feel like nothing's fixed at all? The IBN 5100's absence is extremely disturbing. I want to sit down and think about where it could have gone, but a voice in my head is screaming that there's no time. I need to calm down. It's hard to think straight after everything that's happened. You're telling me! I check my watch again, 7:46 p.m. Images from the assault flash through my mind. Mary bleeding to death on the floor, the smell of gunpowder in the air. I frantically shake the visions out of my head. I look towards the lab entrance. The door has yet to be kicked in by a team of hitmen. I swallow hard, petrified with terror. Please, don't let anything happen. It's past 9. I peek at the street through the window. Nobody's there.
Are you waiting for someone? You keep looking out the window.
Daru's right. I've probably looked out the window 20 times in the past hour. And not a suspicious figure in sight. Moika's men still haven't appeared. The raid was before 8, if I remember correctly. I think it's safe to say that my changes to the past have prevented it from occurring, at least for now. Suzuha's sacrifice was not in vain. I let out a deep breath. I'm sweaty and disgusting. It's like my anxiety has pushed all the sweat out of my body. Mayuri, Kurisu. The two girls woke up from their nap about half an hour ago. Now they're eating cup noodles. Wait, did you just say my name correctly? Kurisu looks at me in astonishment, like she can't believe her ears. You deserve it. You deserve everything, sweetie. When you're done eating, go home. It's late, so I'll go with you.
Okie dokie.
I don't need an escort from you. I can get back by myself. Just listen, Daru, you too.
Huh? Me too.
The train lines running through Akihabara are operating normally. There's no bomb scare, no sign of Moika or her men. Kurisu's taking the Sobu line to the next station, the Chanamizu, while Daru's going the opposite way to Shinkoiwa. Mayuri and I are taking Yamanote line to Ikebukuro, so we part at the station's ticket gate. There are surprisingly few passengers on the train. I guess most of the salarymen are off for the Obon holiday. I'm not familiar with that one. Mayuri is playing a handheld game, the Rainet Kakuru action RPG on the screen. Her character is battling a gigantic Upa. I stand beside her and gaze at her profile, lost in thought. It's the night of the 13th and Mayuri's still alive. How many times have I watched her die? How many times have I tasted that despair? No matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't save this ditzy childhood friend of mine from death. She died again and again, right before my eyes. And now she's alive! Standing beside me, playing a game. This is why I sacrificed our memories with Suzuha. It was the only way. I'm sorry, Suzuha. And thank you. Suzuha no longer exists in this time, but I hope my feelings will reach her all the same. Actually, come to think of it, why can't I tell her in person? Where in Akiba could the 54-year-old Suzuha be? I'll try asking Tanoji tomorrow. He probably knows Suzuha on this world line too. I wonder if Suzuha remembers me.
Hey, Okarin?
Mayuri suddenly lifts her head. She looks at me hesitantly. Her cheeks are slightly pink. What?
Come on, Okarin. Mayushi gets nervous when you stare at her like that.
Did I make you get a game over?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I apologize, but keep looking at her. Instead of starting a new game, Mayuri looks at me with concern.
There's something different about you today, Okarin.
Really?
Yeah, what's wrong?
I remind myself that Mayuri is more perceptive than she seems. She proved that when she figured out that Daru was Suzuha's father. I don't want to worry her too much. I want Mayuri to smile, her usual ditzy smile, without a care in the world. After all, it's over now, she's safe. Nothing's wrong. And I wasn't looking at you just now. I was devising new ways to bring chaos to the world. Ha 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 ha.
Really? You seem kind of tired.
Oh, by all means I am. A mad scientist is never tired. The mighty gray cells of my 170 IQ brain are always performing calculations day and night. I miss this, Okarin.
Oh, but you should still take a break every now and then. Please, Okarin, for me.
Having said that, Mayuri returns to her game. I feel cold stares all around me, but I don't care at all. Mayuri is here with me, doing everyday Mayuri things, ordinary things. Everything is going back to normal. Yesterday was my first time home in a while, so I slept like a log in my comfortable bed. It could be because of my mental exhaustion, but that was the best night's sleep in a while. Before heading up to the lab, I stop and stare at the Brawn Tube workshop. The familiar mountain bike is gone. Suzuha liked it so much she insisted on bringing it with her to 1975. The workshop door opens, and out comes Mr. Braun, rubbing his eyes sleepily.
Okabe, you've got a free time. How about a job? As a special offer, I'll hire you for 1 CRT a month.
Oh, 1 CRT a month, huh? So for 1 month's work, I get an old television? Can I get the 42-inch? You know, the one that powers my phone wave? Hell no. When did Suzuha quit again?
Suzuha? Who the hell's that?
What? Was her existence erased completely? That's impossible.
I ain't got time to remember the name of some lazy part-timer who quit after just 10 days.
Oh, okay. Damn you and your misleading words. So, Suzuha did work here. That fact, the evidence of Suzuha's sojourn in 2010, still remains on this world line.
I thought I finally found someone of some help for a change. That's what I hate about you damn kids. No dedication. I bet she lied about liking CRTs too. Got me good.
Tanoji shrugs his shoulders, annoyed. Naturally, he doesn't know about Suzuha's true identity. Does the name Hashida Suzu ring a bell? At this, Tanoji's eyes go wide.
Haven't heard that name in a long time. You knew her?
Knew her. So now she's...
It's been 10 years already, huh?
10 years? 10 years since what? No. I want to know the answer. Tenoji has a faraway look in his eyes, as if he's gazing into the past.
She really helped me out.
Why are you talking about her in a past tense?
She didn't have any relatives, not that I knew of. Wish I could have been with her at the end.
The end? There's only one thing that can mean. Even though the world line changed, Suzuha didn't survive to the year 2010.
Tell you the truth, though, she looked peaceful when I found her.
Peaceful? She didn't commit suicide?
Suicide? Who the hell told you that? Suzu-san was sick. Don't believe any old thing you hear.
She was sick? Sickness killed her. Natural causes. I shouldn't feel good about that, but I guess you could say it's better than what happened before the world line changed. Pardon me. That's what I tell myself anyway. So how do
you know Suzu-san?
She helped me out too, a long time ago. I was hoping to see her again.
Yeah? I'm living in her old house now. Won't come pay your respects at the altar?
I nod without a moment's hesitation. Pardon me. This is probably where the IBN 5100's at. Tenoji closes up shop and we head off towards his house. From Chidori, we head towards the station. I scan the Akiba scenery as we walk. Moe's stores are still nowhere to be found on this world line. After a little hesitation, I look up at Radicon. The hole's there. It's gone. The satellite has vanished. All that's left is the hole it made when it arrived in this time. When did the satellite disappear?
About 5 days ago. You never know what's gonna happen, huh?
Which means Suzuha left before it rained. Like Tenoji said, his house is closer than expected. We take the train to the next station, Okachimachi, and then walk for about 5 minutes to a quiet residential area. This old one-story house is where Suzuha once lived. Oh, the mountain bike. Once lived. I walk up to the front of the house, and there I see a familiar sight. Suzuha's bicycle. For a moment I can see her there, squatting beside the bicycle. But the mountain bike Suzuha rode to the Brown Tube workshop was shiny and new. Now it's old and covered in rust.
Suzu-san loved that old thing. Even when she couldn't ride it anymore, she'd still polish it every week. It's been sitting there for 10 years. Couldn't throw it away. I've maintained it as best as I could, but I guess nothing lasts forever.
I gently put my hand on the seat. It's warm from sitting out in the sun. I suppose that for the few days Suzu was in Akiba, this bicycle existed in 2 places at the same time. The house isn't as messy inside as I expected, considering the state of the Brown Tube workshop. I guess that chipmunk keeps the place clean. A wave of nausea hits me as I recall what Nei did at Ochanomizu Station. But I tell myself that it was just an accident. Besides, that incident has already been undone. Tenoji Nei has done nothing wrong. Next to the living room is a child's room. There's a child's study desk and a red backpack on the floor. Nei isn't here. Which reminds me, Tenoji's daughter visits the workshop often, but not once have I seen his wife. He couldn't have married Suzuha, could he? I mean, she should have been a lot older than him when they met. But as they say, love knows no boundaries. Or, knows no bounds, sorry. Should know boundaries. Love should definitely know boundaries. I wonder what really happened. I don't know how I'd feel if those two were married. That would make Daru Tenoji's father-in-law? Actually, that would be kind of interesting. I turn to the Buddhist altar to pay my respects to Suzuha. There's no picture of her, so there's no way to know what Hishida Suzu looked like at the age of 44. I make an offering of incense to her, then look around the house again. This is the house Suzuha lived in after leaping to 1975.
When Suzu and San and I first met, we were neighbors.
For some reason, Tenoji offers me a beer. When I decline, he shakes his head and starts drinking it himself.
I was born and raised in Europe, you know.
Ah, is that a joke?
Got a problem? I'll have you know English and French are perfect.
He really doesn't look like someone who's lived abroad. Guess you can't judge a book by its cover.
My parents died about 15 years ago. That's when I came back to Japan. Or I guess I should say I came to Japan for the first time. Suzu-san was living alone next door. She looked after me when I had nowhere else to turn.
Alright, now's my chance. If I'm gonna ask, it's now or never. And you got married?
Huh? Married?
To Suzu-san?
You high?
I knew she'd never marry a guy like him.
She was a pretty stoic lady. Didn't have much of a social life. But she treated me well. My house burned down about 1 year after I moved here. It was my smoking that caused the fire, so I deserved it, but still. After I lost everything, she let me come live here with her. That's not all. The Ohiyama building, where the workshop's at, that was originally Suzu-san's property.
Eh?
She sold it to me for cheap. Thanks to her, the Broad Tube Workshop exists. So you could say she saved my life. Once I asked her why she treated me so well, it wasn't like we were related or anything. But she just smiled and said, "We all depend on someone's kindness at some point in our lives. When that time comes, you'll pass the gift along." Then she was kind of mysterious. She seemed to know exactly how things were going to happen, like a prophet.
Well, she kind of was, Suzuha. That was probably her way of repaying Tenoji for looking after her, even if it was just for 10 days. Now where's the IBN 5100? It has to be in here. And so it came full circle.
Small world, huh? Never thought I'd meet someone else who knew her.
Oh, right.
Wait here a sec.
Doji goes into the child's room next door, then returns and places an object on the table. It has to be. Oh, no, it's not. It's Suzuha's divergence meter. Still good. Before the world line changed, it was in the lab. But on this world line, Suzuha brought the meter with her to 1975. It's been in this house for 35 years. The tubes read 0.4094331%. Divergence has changed, just like Suzuha said. This proves that my magic eye, reading Steiner, does indeed allow me to perceive changes to the world line. But what does 0.409431% mean? I recall what Suzuha said. When the meter reads over 1%, you've made it to the beta world line. Does that mean I'm still on the alpha world line?
Do you know what that number means? 'Cause I sure don't. All I know is it hasn't changed a bit these 10 years. But you know, when Suzu-san was on her deathbed, she used to stare at that meter for hours.
Eh?
She used to stare at the meter, talking to herself. Is this the old number? The new number? Did it work? Did it change? Stuff like that. Day in, day out. Hard to watch.
I touch the device. Suzuha. And in my heart, I reach out to the girl who died 10 years ago. To the girl who will be born 7 years from now. To the girl who crossed time to save the future. Suzuha. Thanks to you, my Yuri is safe. Divergence has changed. But we haven't reached your ultimate goal. 1% divergence. Once that's achieved, the future you dreamed of will become a reality. I will carry on your fight, Suzuha. I promise. We will defeat CERN. I realize that I am crying. Tenoji stares at me for a moment, then puts his giant hand on my shoulder.
Okarin!
Mary comes out of the ticket gate and walks up to me with a unhurried stride. I was really hoping for the IBN 5100 to just be like sitting somewhere in his house in plain sight. So even if she did travel to the past, we don't have our, key to changing the future yet. I'm surprised he didn't bring that up yet. Whatever.
Tutu, I didn't think you'd come all the way to the station to pick me up. Mayushi's surprised.
I wouldn't want my hostage to get away.
Yeah, me neither. So Mayushi's really happy.
I don't quite understand, but whatever. As long as everybody's genuinely happy. Mary flashes a carefree smile, then walks ahead of me, almost skipping.
So, what's in the bag?
Mr. Braun gave it to me. It's a device that can measure the divergence of world lines.
Wow, that sounds amazing. What's a world line?
I smile wryly. Mary, you really are a dummy. What am I doing? After I left Tanoji's house, I called Mayuri to ask when she would arrive in Akiba. I went to the station to pick her up. Anxiety still smolders in my heart. We managed to survive yesterday, but that doesn't guarantee our safety forever. It's entirely possible for Moeka to attack now on the afternoon of the 14th. Maybe I'm being overprotective, but I still can't shake the image of Mayuri's death from my mind. I don't ever want to have to go through that again. Just a thought, Mayuri, but don't you think maybe you should stop coming to Akiba for a while? At least until Komima ends? Oh, right! We have Komima coming up! There's still a chance to meet the mystery! No response. I look to the side. Mary? Panicked, I scan the area and catch sight of her wandering towards a newly opened shaved ice stand. That ditz. Can't she tell how worried I am? So, you're the devoted type, huh? Oh my god, this is just so weird going back to after how dark last episode got. And it got like super freaking dark and serious to just be going back to this. Like, this is completely throwing me off. Alright. So you're the devoted type, huh? Greasy is glaring at me with an iced coffee in her hand. We're in the lab, which appears to have become her second home. What's that supposed to mean? I'm sitting at the computer, searching for intel on the IBN 5100. I still don't know where it is. I went to Yanabayashi Shrine this morning, but alas, it wasn't there. Suzu promised to get one to us somehow. Her gift to us from 1975. Without it, we can't hack the CERN database, meaning we can't achieve the divergence of over 1%. All of a sudden, you're treating Mayuri like a princess. Today, you went to the station to meet her. You taste tested her lunch, and then you held her hand all the way back to the lab. Mayuri, you tell her that?
Helgaren really loves Mayushi.
Did she have to tell Kurisu of all people? Mary looks so carefree as she stuffs her cheek with takoyaki. I'm pretty sure she's smiling not because of my love, but because the takoyaki's deliciousness. Typical Mayuri. But seriously, did you have to tell Kurisu? So, what's the deal? I don't follow. Are you a couple or what? I've been meaning to ask. Do we look like a couple? Huh? Yeah, I mean, you taste tested her food, bro. What sort of delusions does this girl have?
Okaran and Mayushi have been friends since we were little. Wow.
Wait. Don't talk with your mouth full. So, you're not a couple. Oh, well, of course. No one would willingly date Okabe after all. Pah! You disappoint me, Christina. Huh? What are you talking about? You have finally revealed your true nature. I saw how your eyes lit up at the first hint of romance. You're nothing but a filthy mainstream girl. I bet you like to eat chocolate with your girlfriend and giggle about the latest celebrity love affair. Absurd! This lab has no need of the puppies and flowers in your head. Begone! Feels strange to be spewing such shinobi nonsense again after what I've been through. Right? He feels it too. We're out of time for this episode, but is my innocence lost forever? No, you've regained a lot of it, buddy. Trust me, you lost so much on the last world line. Let's just never talk about that time again. Oh my god. Alright, so this is the end of the episode for today. All in all, a lot happier. Like, it's just I just wish we hadn't done last episode. I wish I had figured out that I could have just, you know, done the phone from get-go. Anything, I should have figured that out. Oh, but golly, that got really fucked up last. I'm still kind of stuck on that. But it's good to know that Suzuha most likely succeeded in her mission. And the IBN 5100 is somewhere out here in this world line. Just don't know how we're going to find it. Surely she has to have left a clue for us or something, though, right? At least, you know, she had Tadaji there at the end, too. You know, she didn't die in complete misery. She just, you know, died determined and not entirely fulfilled because she didn't get to see the end of her mission. She didn't get to know if there was success. Which sucks, but what you going to do? It seems though she was still destined to die, like Mayuri was. And that's how it is on this new world line. I wonder if it's going to switch or if it's going to stick on Mayuri, because we've made it past the 13th now, but that's no guarantee that, again, like we've been saying at the end of this, that she won't, you know, die at some point in the future. But what if the targets change? What if it's not Mayuri that dies, but like Kurisu or Daru or, you know, Moeka or somebody else entirely? You know, there's still, like Ferris, God, or Luca. Yeah, there's still a potential for risk. Anything, especially dealing with CERN and now knowing how dark this game is willing to get. But, we'll just have to try and figure things out in the next episode, try to hunt down that IBN, so till then, like and subscribe if you want to. Thank you for watching.